Well, anyway, the lift stopped and the apartment took the whole floor. So I stepped right into the living room. Well, I stepped in and the living room was huge. And then I looked around. There was blood everywhere. Like blood on the floor, blood on the walls, blood on the curtains. And then I went around the room and I saw him sitting on the sofa. And he was sitting on the sofa, right? And he was all covered in blood. And then I walked to him and I was scared, you know. The guy was all covered in blood. I looked at him and said, Jesus, man, what happened? Do you know what he said? He looked at me and said, English now is on. Anyway, he looked at me and said,
Top 5 traps involving simple past.
Hello, my name is Claudio, and this is your English course. English now! In English! Well, of course. There are English subtitles for this class, and there are Portuguese subtitles for this class. If you are brave, no subtitles. Oh yeah, alright. Top 5 mistakes involving simple past for Brazilians. If you go to the internet for quick answers, this is it. This is the top 5. Look at it again. But I think that more information is required here. Simple past. This is an essential topic. Really, really important. Keep calm, let's do this.
First things first. First thing. Storytelling.
First thing is, in a way, simple past is more important than simple present. And I'll tell you why. You remember that simple present is essentially routine, right? This is what usually happens. Hi, what's your name? I'm Claudio. Oh, nice to meet you, Claudio. What do you do? I'm a teacher, and I have a language teaching company. It's called Jewel, Lingua Franca. Cool. And that's it. Once you have introduced yourself, once you have passed this stage of introducing yourself, talking a little bit about yourself, you immediately start telling stories. This is what usually happens. When did you decide to be a teacher? Well, when I was a child, people start telling stories about their lives. Short stories about what happened before you got to that place. I'm sorry I'm late. I got caught in traffic. There was a terrible accident on Marginal. I had to wait for 40 minutes. About your weekend, about yesterday. So, what did you do on Saturday? Well, I went to the cinema. Oh, cool. What film did you see? I saw the new Blade Runner. Blade Runner 2049. Did you like it? I loved it. No, I didn't. It was too long. Oh, yes, I did. That's the usual. That's the normal. Stories are essential for human beings. Telling stories was crucial in the evolution of human beings and human language. And we tell stories every day. Not only do we tell stories every day, we listen to stories all the time. So people actually spend more time talking about the past than they do talking about present. This is why simple past is so crucial. Most of what people usually say is in the past. Consequence, you have to know your simple past. You have to know your second column.
Second thing. Simple past. Covering 3 Portuguese verb tenses.
Second thing is, simple past in English covers at least 3 important verb tenses in Portuguese. Yes, your simple past, I did, covers pretérito perfeito in Portuguese. Eu fiz. It also covers pretérito imperfeito in Portuguese. Eu fazia. And it covers Subjuntivo passado, se eu fizesse, if I did. So, the second thing I have to tell you about simple past is, this is excellent cost benefit. If you actually master simple past, your possibilities in English will grow exponentially. You will amplify all your possibilities.
Third thing, cost benefit.
The third thing I have to tell you about simple past is, if you master simple past, you'll speak better English than the vast majority of Brazilians. I'm saying this again. If you actually know what you're doing with your simple past, you will speak much better English than the vast majority of Brazilians. So these are the 3 reasons why simple past is extremely important. Let's go, let's do this! The top 5 mistakes Brazilians make involving simple past. Number 5.
Trap number 5. Irregular verbs. Pronunciation of ed.
Yes, indeed. Read these words. Number 1. Number 2. And number 3. Regular verbs tend to be a problem for Brazilians. Most Brazilians know that if you have regular verbs, you just have to add ed at the end to get your past form. For example, work, base form, ed at the end for past form. What Brazilians don't know is that ed can have 3 possible pronunciations. The tendency for Brazilians is to pronounce ed in the same way always. To use the same pronunciation every time they see ed. For example, work, work it, love, love it, and want, wanted. Well, no. There are 3 possible pronunciations for this. In the first case, work, worked. Second case, love, loved. And want, wanted. This is the class. This is round 8. This is grammar class in round 8. And you have to check pronunciation class number 8. Only about pronunciation of ed. But I can tell you that step, stepped, walk, walked, talk, talked, work, worked. For the second case, love, loved, happen, happened. Jesus, man, what happened? Cover, covered. This gets even more difficult within a sentence, especially when you have a vowel sound after your ed. Well, I stepped in. Well, I stepped in. Well, I stepped in. Stepped in. Stepped in. And he was all covered in blood. Covered. Covered in. Covered in blood. Covered in blood. Number 4. Irregular verbs.
Trap number 4. Irregular verbs.
Right. Give me the past form for these verbs. In 3 seconds. Say. Said, tell, told, speak, spoke, drink, drank. I said drank, not drunk. Yes, of course, irregular verbs are a problem for Brazilians because you have to know your second column. You remember, you have to visualize your verbs. When you see a verb like speak, for example, you have to immediately visualize all forms of speak. And the famous 3 columns: speak, base form, spoke, past form, spoken. 3rd column, past participle. Check this class about verb families. Essential. Do it. I cannot stress this enough. You have to know your verb forms. Number 3.
Trap number 3. Putting all verbs in the past.
Putting all verbs in your story in the past. For example, take a look at those sentences. I had to told her this. She didn't told me. I didn't went. I had to went there. No, no, no. Completely wrong. Notice, in Portuguese, you say eu tive que ir, eu tive que fazer, eu tive que ir lá sozinho. I had to go there alone. Eu tive que dizer isso para ela. I had to tell her this. Eu tive que dizer. And then tive is your past form, and all the other verbs go in the infinitive form in Portuguese and in English. I had to wait for 40 minutes. I had to wait for 40 minutes. And you have to pay special attention to infinitive forms in Portuguese. Putting all verbs in your story in the past. No, no, no. Even more frequent when you have auxiliary did in your sentence. Which brings us to trap number 2.
Trap number 2. Auxiliary verb did and verb to be.
Right. Simple past. Simple past is called simple past because it is a simple tense. Meaning, a simple tense means you have only one verb in the sentence. For example, I went there. I went there. But. For negative sentences, interrogative sentences, negative interrogative, and short answers, you have an auxiliary verb. Did. In this way, simple past is identical to simple present. Yes, auxiliary verbs are counterintuitive for Brazilians. For example, answer this question in 3 seconds. Did you like the party? Yes, I did. No, I didn't. You ask a Brazilian, do you like that? And a classic mistake is, yes, I like. When the normal answer for an English speaker is, yes, I do. In the same way, if you ask a Brazilian, did you like the party? Did you like that? A classic Brazilian mistake will be, yes, I liked. Yes, I did. No, I didn't. It was too long. Oh, yes, I did. The auxiliary verb is the center of your sentence, especially when it comes to questions, negative questions, and short answers. But, you do not have auxiliary verbs for verb to be in simple present and simple past. You just use verb to be in the past. Which brings us to trap number 1.
Trap number 1. Question formation.
Yes. Number 1. Question formation in general. Yes, you know that question formation is a huge problem for Brazilians in English in general. Why? Because the sentence is completely different. You know that in Portuguese there is no difference between an affirmative sentence and an interrogative sentence if you consider the structure. For example, você fez isso. Você fez isso. Affirmative statement. Você fez isso? Question. The only difference is the intonation. So it's normal for a Brazilian to think that only changing the intonation will give them a question. And it doesn't. It doesn't. For example, translate these questions into English. I say it in Portuguese. You say it in English. In 3 seconds. Go! Elas estavam lá? Were they there? Com quem ela estava? Who was she with? te contou? Didn't she tell you? Como você fez isso? How did you do that? Yes, these are typical questions. You remember, there is a class only about question formation in this course. This class is crucial. Watch this class. Absolutely essential. In this class, I basically cover 4 structures for questions. And now I'm adding one more structure. Jesus, man, what happened? This is the structure you use when your WH is your subject, meaning that you do not have another subject in the question. That's the case of what happened? What happened? This is not a was question. What is the subject for your verb? Consequence, you do not have auxiliary verbs for this. Simply what happened. This is a very intuitive structure for Brazilians. This is not usually a problem because that's exactly the same structure we use in Portuguese. O que aconteceu? Jesus, man, what happened? No auxiliaries, that's it. 5th important structure when it comes to question formation in English. Alright, these are the 5 top traps for Brazilians when it comes to simple past. I think you're ready for this sensational quiz. Yes, 10 sentences from Portuguese to English. Concentrate on your simple past.
Simple past quiz. From Portuguese to English. 10 sentences.
Are you ready? You! Yes, you!
Number 1.
Com quem elas estavam? Who were they with?
Number 2.
Ela não te falou? Didn't she tell you?
Number 3.
Eu pensei que você morasse aqui. I thought you lived here. I thought that you lived here.
4.
Eu não sabia que você fazia isso. I didn't know you did that.
5.
Eu tive que esperar 30 minutos. I had to wait for 30 minutes.
6.
Elas não trabalharam lá? Didn't they work there?
7.
Você estava com ela? Were you with her? Were you with her?
8.
Você não achou que era perigoso? Didn't you think it was dangerous?
9.
Nós não estávamos prontos. We weren't ready.
10.
Elas não foram pra festa. They didn't go to the party. Well, this is it. This was it. That's all, folks. Did you like this class?
I loved it.
No, I didn't. It was too long. Oh, yes, I did. Well, hit the like button. Did you enjoy this quiz? Subscribe to our channel. Do you want more information on our courses? Email us duo.linguafranca@gmail.com. For now, this is it. This was it. English Now is signing off. Bye-bye. And then he said, but I didn't do anything. Can you believe that? What a crazy bloke.